Roger Stone here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. That's actual physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or you're retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/stone right now for your free Roger Stone Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit. Or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589. Call now to receive your free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.
When were you negotiating for your multi-million-dollar advance deal for your book as seniors were dying in nursing homes? That is the question.
You can't make up facts, Congresswoman.
You're the one making up facts. You're the one who undercounted nursing home deaths. You're the one who I want to ask right now. You apologize today, but there are families sitting here. I want you to turn around, look them in the eye, and apologize, which you have failed to do. Will you do it?
This is not about political theater.
No, this is about accountability.
Why did 1.2 million Americans die?
Famous words, and I forget if it was Todd Beamer, I think it was Todd, but one of the courageous passengers on United Flight 93 when they stormed the cockpit. They screamed, "Let's roll." And that plane crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, instead of hitting the target, which most people believe was the White House. By the way, both Trump and Harris will be here in New York for the ceremony downtown, and both Trump and Harris will be in Pennsylvania today, and of course that was the great Neil Young. But before that, you heard Elise Stefanik deliver a beating to Cuomo, which once again I was hoping Trump would do to Harris last night, which he didn't. But Stefanik, Mike Lawler, even some Democrats. I mean, this was a bipartisan beating for the former governor, and nobody in New York was happier to see that than my friend, the host of the Rip and Read Overnight Weekends. Great job here, icon legend, Mr. Guardian Angel, Curtis Sliwa. How good was that for you?
It was like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. Stefanik pulled out the samurai sword, chopped off Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo 3-piece set, and shoved it right down his mouth.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, at the start of the hearing, the chairman said, and we have guest inquisitors, and he mentioned Stefanik.
Yep.
And right away, Cuomo probably swallowed his Adam's apple.
I mean, he knew Mario Tigers would be kind of tough. Lawler called him a lion sack of shizzle, but there's nobody like Elise.
No, but
Elise is the real hammer.
Before we get to Elise, who turned him into a eunuch, let's talk about all the Democrats who jumped his bones, too. The Democrats on the committee said you were guilty. You and Melissa DeRosa, they didn't mention her name. They should have named and shamed her because it was the both of them who took the paperwork from their own staff and they went back into a back room and they basically downgraded all the deaths with whiteout. Everybody. In fact, the health czar, Zucker, said, don't do it. Don't do it. They did it anyway. And the shame at that hearing. But Democrats were saying, go ahead. All these families are here. Won't you even apologize? Nope. And they apologized for him. And when I heard Stefanik, I heard three voices conflated. I heard Janice Dean, Jennifer Harrison, and your guest from yesterday, Tracy Alvino. All three of them converged through Stefanik, who was only given 5 minutes. It's not like she was given a lot of time. and she basically called him out, and he was stumbling and mumbling. What about the book? You were writing in the middle of this epidemic. How did you have time for a book? You made $5 million. And, I mean, he couldn't answer. He
did answer. He took it from the Democrat playbook, which we saw Harris do last night as well, and Biden do for the better part of 3 years. And that is amazingly, all these cowards and liars find a way to blame my friend President Trump. He blamed Trump all the time yesterday.
That, and ironically, he kept saying, well, it was because of the dictates of the Attorney General of the state of New York, Tish James. He must have mentioned Tish James' name 12 times.
Yeah. He hates her.
Of course.
She indicted him, too. But it's funny because when you talk to Cuomo, he acts as if he's actually almost with Trump. We both got indicted by Letitia James. We both been treated unfairly. But then when he's put on the spot, all of a sudden that kumbaya with Trump goes away, and he blames Trump.
Oh, and he was hiding behind Tish James's skirts. Oh, it was Tish James. It was the Attorney General. But when Stefanik said, you will never win elected office again.
How hot was that?
And you know what that reminded me of?
The first time you had sex.
No, actually better. The first time I had sex twice in one night. As you know, that was in the tabloids. Made me feel like $1 million. I had to pay a lot of money for that once. But anyway, the point is, let's get back on track here, because it was that same Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo who called Governor Pataki in the midst of that tragedy of 9/11 a glorified coat holder. And remember, I was on a train with Pataki and Giuliani a year before at the World Series, 2000, Game 3. They were heading up to Shea Stadium.
That was the Met-Yankees Subway Series, because 2001, after 9/11, it was the Yankees and the Arizona Diamondbacks.
They wouldn't even get in the same subway car. They wouldn't shake hands. They hated
each other. Yeah.
But the moment the attack occurred, George Pataki said, let bygones be bygones. We got to work together, Rudy.
Well, they both said it. Rudy has said it on this show a million times. I really wanted to bring Rudy on today, but he can't make it. But regardless, they both knew that after 9/11, the mayor and the governor needed to come together. It was the same situation during COVID here. Bill de Blasio and Andrew Cuomo should have come together, but both of those guys, their egos are so large that they could not come to a common cause. They cared less about New York than their own egos. Pataki and Giuliani did it. De Blasio and Cuomo, they couldn't do it.
Right, but this tells you all you need to know about Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo. Don't buy this revisionism, this resurrection. I'm a born again. Let me hang my reputation on my name, Cuomo. We know what you've done. You left us out to dry. You killed 15,000 elderly people. There's no doubt about it. And your own Democrats accused you of that. Have you ever seen that? Normally,
Never.
It's a partisan hearing.
Never.
Democrats protect Democrats.
So I know what Stefanik said yesterday, but I still believe he's going to run. I do. And I still think he can beat Eric Adams. That's my opinion. And I don't consider Brad Lander or Jumaane Williams or Wiley or any of these other folks real threats. So the question is, even after what you saw yesterday, where he was clearly, he got his clock clean. He had no answers. He got beat badly. Even after what you saw yesterday, don't you really believe in your heart of hearts the mayor's race will come down to Cuomo versus Sliwa?
Oh, I look forward to that. Get him in the gladiator pit, because Stefanik started the bleed out. And I will finish it off. Metaphorically, I will chop off his political head. The age of Cuomo will be over. But let me bring you back. You mentioned Bernard McGurk. On 9/11, he was out sampling voters on 96th Street. It was a Democratic primary.
From the mayor, yes.
Right. And all of a sudden, here it was. They opened the machines, because halfway through, Pataki said, hey, close the election down. You know who was ahead? Fernando Ferrer. He was running against Mark Green, Peter Vallone Sr., and Alan Hevesy. That's a pretty powerful group of four.
Yes.
But the moment the attack took place, people said, nah, he's the Bronx Borough president. They went with Mark Green. And then all of a sudden, Bloomberg, who nobody liked, was a horrible candidate, even though he was spending millions on ads running against Herman Badillo in the Republican primary. He was elevated because we need a builder. We need a businessman to bring it back. Without that, Michael Bloomberg, even with his billions, would never have been elected mayor of the city of New York. And remember who came in and elevated him? Rudy Giuliani and John McCain campaigned for him all over the place.
Well, Rudy was before him, right? Exactly.
But that gave him the credit because nobody knew Bloomberg.
No, but in all fairness,
and he was a horrible candidate.
He was a horrible candidate. Who cares? Truth is, he was a very good mayor for 2 terms. Now that 3rd term, he went absolutely crazy, which he kind of did illegally anyway. Let me add another term, and then he became like an emperor. With the ridiculous stuff with the diapers and the sodas and all that, and the straws, all that nonsense. But you'd have to agree, those 2 terms, bad candidate or not, he was pretty damn good. That era of Giuliani and Bloomberg was the golden age for us.
You're leaving one person out. Ray Kelly.
Of course.
He knew the streets. Bloomberg knew Wall Street. He stayed out of Ray Kelly's way. 12 years, longest-serving police commissioner.
Great point. So good, by the way, he did it twice.
And not only that, but Bloomberg stabbed him in the back. Speak to Greg Kelly, his son.
No, Bloomberg's a scumbag.
Look, my God,
a scumbag.
You know,
I know he is.
Kelly had an opportunity to run for mayor. Instead of Christine Quinn, Bloomberg endorsed her with the glow-in-the-dark orange Revlon hair, who crashed and burned. Kelly had a right to run for the mayoralty.
Of course he did.
He knew all about the city.
He would have been great. Listen, Bloomberg's a bad guy. Bloomberg gives money. I got a feeling, if you said to me that the other guy giving money to all these horrible groups, along with George Soros, is Mike Bloomberg.
Oh, he is.
Of course. So he's a bad guy. When he ran for president, he was a complete asshole. But, again, I'm being honest today. Trump wasn't good last night. I want Trump to win. He needs to win. This country is in trouble if she wins. He wasn't good last night. I'm being honest. I'm being honest about this, too. Bloomberg was good for 2 terms.
I'm not the Trumper like you, right? Everybody knows that. They call me a rhino.
You're coming along. You're coming along.
But still, Trump was Trump, right? People say Trump, he came in with the scowl, angry. He saw the 3 of them were like wasps, picking at him.
He was triple teamed.
He wanted to explode. He had to sort of keep his emotions in order. I would say go for the second debate. You learn from this.
But he needs it because he didn't win last night.
Look, and I've said this from day one, you remember. The difference is going to be the independent women. It was in 2016. That's why he beat Hillary. She never got out of the fetal position at Jacob Javits Center 4 months. She couldn't believe independent women went for Trump. He lost. Yes, he did lose to Joe Biden, independent women.
Well, did he do anything last night to improve that situation?
No, but he's so close in the polls. He was never close in the polls before. He was always like 6-7 points behind because a lot of people will never tell a pollster that they support Donald Trump.
Well, that I agree with.
This would be my suggestion.
And the point that we both made also, and listen carefully, folks, okay? It doesn't matter. Last night was basically a performance.
Correct.
It was theater. So if I had to give a better Oscar award for last night, I'm giving it to Harris over Trump because you're right. Trump was Trump, but he had to be better than that. Because when Trump was Trump against Biden, that was easy. She was much better. So I don't believe he did all that well last night. But again, we both made this point. All last night was theater, a production. The question is...
Debates never determine who the president is.
The question is, do you believe, like I do, that we're close to World War III? Donald Trump can stop that. Do you believe, like I believe, the economy is in the dumper? Donald Trump can fix that. So let's give her due credit for last night. She was better than most of us thought she was going to be, but she's still a flip-flopper.
Remember, everybody, stupid, dumb, all that. I told you, remember, Sid, don't do that. Yeah. Every woman out there has been in an argument with their boyfriend or husband who had sometimes said, you're so freaking stupid and dumb.
Clearly, you've done that about 7 times.
My God, I'm a veteran, okay? You lose control of yourself. You say things you regret that you're going to pay for the rest of your life. But how many women sitting there watching say, it's exactly what my boyfriend said about me, even though I graduated college and this guy didn't know what to do with a bag of nails and a hammer. Right?
Now, listen, she's a thieving liar. She lied 10 times more than Trump did last night, but she's not stupid.
No. Absolutely not. And stop this nonsense. She's stupid. She can't handle herself. Because all you do is push independent women over to a corner. So this would be my suggestion. Take the second debate. Learn from that. Okay? It always happens. And then get out there in the campaign the rest of the way. Melania, I don't care what you're doing in Mar-a-Lago. You accompany your husband. They need to see you side by side, that there's a female influence.
I like that.
Same thing, J.D. Vance. He's got a gorgeous Indian wife who went to Yale with him. She's a practitioner Hindu. She speaks beautifully. Let them introduce the candidates. The other side, you notice, family friendly.
All the time.
The wife is there.
Yeah.
The husband is there. They're stealing that. Don't let them steal that.
No, they were showing videos of Harris and her crappy Jew husband, Doug Emhoff, walking together Sunday, 2 days before the debate. I only got about 2 minutes to go. Give me this. Why hasn't Eddie Caban resigned yet?
You got to wait until after 9/11. Okay, solemn occasion today. The mayor, he's in Gracie Mansion.
So fine. So you are still convinced, and it's funny because Sal Greco gave me the same answer.
Yeah.
You are still convinced that this week or sometime soon, Eddie will have to resign.
Well, it's either resign or watch him get taken out and chains and shackles.
Hold on. No, wait a second now. Because you guys were cocksure, which I can say, which is fantastic, that he was going to resign. Now you're saying, well...
No.
Because I got from somebody very close to Eddie yesterday that he has no intention of resigning, and he's not going to resign.
So the FBI will show up on the 14th floor, Police Plaza. They'll take him out. They'll take a bunch of others that you know well out, Sid. I don't want to mention their names because they haven't been implicated yet.
Yeah.
And they'll put all three Caban brothers on the same daisy chain perp walk.
Okay.
They can't afford to see that. That will destroy the police department. Then they'll be forced to bring somebody in from the outside.
Right.
You don't want that happening.
And there's another rumor that Kinsella is leaving, but I heard that's not true because some people say he'll be the next commissioner. Final 60 seconds. You are New York. You are New York. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask exactly what you were doing 23 years ago in about an hour.
I had worked my way up from Florida, where I spoke at a conference by Paul Carlucci, News America Marketing.
No kidding.
It was raining. They canceled flights. I flew to Reagan Airport and then took the train the rest of the way. I wasn't going to let Ron Kuby be morning host by himself. He would have destroyed the program. You know, bucolic day. First plane hits. I'm on the air. I said it's an act of terrorism. Phil Boyce.
You said that right away.
Said it right away. Everybody knows that. Yeah. And then Phil Boyce, who was the program director, comes in and says, you say that again, I'm taking you off the air. Yeah. Don't you ever say that again. I had just been with Eddie Brown up at the firehouse at Bryan and Seneca for lunch with all the guys, and they had a book out in which they had, in the gun sight, the World Trade Center. I said, why you guys have this? Well, you know, in case there is an attack on these high-rises, we've been practicing because, man, you're talking about 60, 70, 80 stories up. They were already practicing.
What about practicing, folks? Don't forget.
All the time.
8 years before, 1993, with Bill Clinton as president, they bombed the building.
Exactly.
People died. So it wasn't the first time.
They were going to take me off the air because I told the truth.
Listen,
and by the way,
I've never been a big fan of Phil Boyce. Just so you know, I think he's a bit of a jerk-off.
By the way, remember when the towers went down and nobody knew what the hell was going on, they had to depend on radio. You guys at the Fan, us at WABC. It was the only way to get news and information. There was no internet at that time. There was all the misinformation, remember? There was all the craziness going on. People had to turn into the radio. And what radio? AM, because the FM towers had come down. Don't you understand in another emergency? That's why it is so important in Washington that they not only preserve active-minded radio AM, but God forbid, in case of an emergency, we are the emergency response station in the nation, Lodi, New Jersey. Everybody will have to listen to WABC because when Donald Trump speaks from the White House, not Giggles Harris, come on, you know that ain't happening. He's going to be talking over WABC, whatever the emergency is. We are the emergency broadcast station in the nation. WABC, you must keep AM alive. All you Democrats and Republicans in Washington, D.C., don't let everyone else wine you, dine you, and pocket line you like they always do and side against the emergency response station that will be the only one broadcasting because TV will be gone, the grid will be down, and finally you'll get your terrestrial radio out and say, this is the radio I listened to as a kid. Hey, where's Cousin Brucey? Oh, wait, it's Sid. It's Curtis. And it's President Donald Trump speaking to all of us across the nation.
Let's roll for freedom. Let's roll for love. Going after Satan on the wings of the dove. Let's roll for justice. Let's roll for truth. Let's not let our children